The god who descended from heaven on a golden chain before names and forms settled into the world, the sky Orun sent a messenger on a chain of light. That messenger was Oduduwa, who descended wrapped in dawn, bearing a staff and a gourd of seeds and sacred dust. Where his staff touched the soil, the earth warmed and life stirred. Where he spoke, names took shape and the place became Ile Ife, the house of creation. From the heart of that listening sky came a sound like a bell struck at the center of the world. They called him Oduduwa. Oduduwa's first acts were not conquest but instruction. He taught that naming is creative, to name the land was to give it being, and introduced 3 guiding laws that would shape Ife's life. The first law demanded reverence for the land. The earth is kin, not commodity. When a tree is felled, another must be planted, and rivers must be crossed with prayer. The second law held that words are seeds, speech must be intentional, because careless words can grow into harm. The third law reframed leadership. Rulers must be both mirror and bridge, rooted in the soil yet able to carry the people's petitions to the heavens. These principles were embodied in ritual, story, and daily practice rather than carved on stone. The elders of Orun tested Oduduwa with 3 trials that proved the ethics he would teach. A drought tested patience and resourcefulness. Oduduwa taught water conservation, basins, dew collection, drought-resilient planting, so the people learned to prepare rather than rely on miracles. A creeping shadow tested courage. Oduduwa confronted fear by naming it, and by uniting the community with fire, song, and presence, so fear could not shape the world. Finally, the sky demanded a token. Oduduwa offered his golden chain, and wrapped it around the oldest iroko tree. The chain sank into the bark, and became a living ring of light, a permanent reminder that the heavens would watch, but not rule with tyranny. This offering bound the people to a covenant of freedom and responsibility. Ile Ife grew deliberately as a moral landscape. Streets curved like ribs, plazas opened like palms, and a central mound, an altar became the city's heart, where living and ancestors exchanged news. Artisans were taught humility, potters listened to clay, weavers encoded stories in cloth, and blacksmiths sang to metal so objects would remember the hands that shaped them. Governance was practiced through councils that included elders, youth, men, women, farmers, and artisans. Decisions were public and leadership was service. The city became a place of pilgrimage, its markets and festivals carrying Ife's story outward. From Oduduwa's pattern emerged the Oba, a ruler whose crown signified burden rather than privilege. Coronation rituals recited lineage and bound the Oba to Oduduwa's laws. Honor the land, speak with care, lead with humility. The Oba mediated disputes, oversaw communal fields, and preserved stories. The court honored poets and historians because memory was the city's true treasury. When rulers drifted toward arrogance, elders reminded them of the golden chain and the iroko's ring, restoring balance through ritual and counsel. Ile Ife celebrated creation. The day of descent reenacted Oduduwa's arrival. Robes of white and gold, carved staffs, songs and dances taught children the names of the world. Art was prayer. Bronze heads preserved lineage, woven cloths told histories, and music could call rain or soothe grief. Storytelling by firelight kept lore alive. Each teller added a flourish so memory remained living and adaptable. When neighboring chiefs coveted Ife's chain, the city defended its covenant rather than hoarding power. Envoys who tried to seize the chain found the land itself resisting. Invaders were disoriented, and many retreated. Ile Ife's strength lay in moral cohesion. A people bound by law, story, and ritual proved harder to break than one held by force. The city's reputation for fairness made it a mediator. Its roads and bridges were not only trade routes, but places of exchange and diplomacy. Oduduwa's visible presence faded with time, but his teachings endured through elders, rituals, and the arts. Ancestors continued to teach through dreams and offerings, keeping a porous boundary between living and dead. Ile Ife's influence spread as artisans, priests, and traders carried its practices to other lands, where they were adapted to local contexts. The golden chain remained around the iroko as a living symbol. Creation is not a single event, but an ongoing practice of naming, tending, and governing with humility. To stand beneath the iroko and look up at the golden chain is to feel the pull of two worlds, the patient gaze of the sky and the steady heartbeat of the earth, and to remember that beginnings are kept by care, not by spectacle. Kindly subscribe, click the notification button and comment.